right? And not just your future, not just my future, it's the future of the industry that we love, that's creating so many opportunities for so many young people, right? So at its heart and soul, what I want to do with this program is work with you students, work with parents, work with universities and high schools, and help them help you. When you graduate, the whole idea is that you're not going to graduate as a recent graduate. We want you to graduate as a young professional. We want to give you the opportunity to take your education, apply it to something you love, and then learn the business of esports. So it's great that you play League of Legends, it's great that you play Hearthstone, right? But have you ever thought about the business behind it? That's what we want to help the universities teach you. So we'll give you some examples. My favorite example is an art student. You would think that studying art, it'd be quite hard to get a job when you graduate, right? But in this industry, we need them. We need artists so much. So the idea is to go to a university or a high school and work with the art department and work with the professors and teach them how to apply art to emerging, new, and digital media, right? That's what this industry is. We say esports, what is it really? It's really emerging, new, and digital media. So I like to explain esports as a hybrid, a mix of two different companies. One is a media company. Media companies, does anybody know what a media company does? Media, right? So a media company, what they'll do is they'll create content, right? Like a TV show. And they'll take this TV show pilot and they'll bring it to Amazon, they'll bring it to Hulu, they'll bring it to somebody to sell it, sell the movie or sell the TV show. The other business is a digital marketing company. Does anybody know what digital marketers do? Exactly, right? They take data from content, a movie, a Twitch stream, a YouTube personality. They take the data and they go to Coca-Cola and they say, I have a young lady or a young man that's amazing, very well spoken, has a very large community. We can use the artist from before. That young man has 40,000 followers on Twitter. So a digital marketing agency would take that data and go to Coca-Cola and say, you should work with this young man. He makes beautiful art, he's very well spoken, and he has this big of a community that will now know that Coca-Cola supports him, supporting you, right? So a media company creates content, a digital marketing agency takes the data and sells against it for partnerships or sponsorships. That's the big model with esports. But as a whole, we're a mix of the two. Why? We create content on Twitch, on YouTube, and we take the data and we sell against it for sponsorships. So if you look at the business model of a professional esports team, right? Any TSM fans here? TSM fan, of course, right, of course. How do they make money? This is what I want to teach universities and high schools, to be able to teach you. So how do they make money? Their YouTube, their prize money. So how does TSM make money? If you think they have team houses, they're very expensive. You cannot, especially in Los Angeles, right? Right on the ocean, super, super expensive. They need 2, 3, 4 houses sometimes. That's how many players they have. So how do they make that money back? From the houses, the salaries, the investment. What they do is they take all their players' data and they put it into a marketing deck and they go to Coca-Cola and say, look how many people are fans of my team. Don't you want your name on our brand? Right? So just sponsorships, partnerships, stuff like that. But that comes from the data that the players generate. Each of them. They take all the players and take all that data and say, this is TSM. We have 4 million people that follow us and consume all of our content. For this much money, I will put your logo on our shirt. right? So this is a good example. This is a jersey from Cal State Berkeley. Has anybody ever heard of Berkeley? Look what they have on the back, right? These are sponsors. So these people paid to put their name on Berkeley's jersey and on Berkeley's gaming center. They have a beautiful, beautiful gaming center that was sponsored by San Francisco Shock, the professional Overwatch team, right? Andrew Miller, and NVIDIA. So those two people came in, and obviously you can see their names are on the jerseys, right? NVIDIA. That's how teams make money, right? For the most part. So we go back to the art student now. Why is this important for universities to understand? Why is this important for parents to understand? It's very important that your parents understand that you're not just playing games. There's a big business behind this. The better you understand the business, the better chance you have of having a very good life and being part of this exciting, brand new industry, which has not even started yet. So you can look at what Justin has done here with CONQuest, right? Don't you think next year it's going to be a little bit better? He's learning from this, right? And next year he's going to make a better experience. Now, why don't we give that to universities? What's a university's job? It's supposed to prepare you for the future, right? Not the future. The future isn't 1985, what they're teaching in class, right? How do we teach for 2020? And we'll go back to the art student. Imagine if a university had an art program and one semester they did art in digital media through gaming and esports. Sounds weird, but the student can come and learn how to make the emoticons on Twitch, the overlays on Twitch, graphics for your Twitter, right? So maybe you can work with the artists from before and commission a picture that you could use as your profile picture that expresses an emotion of why you love what you're doing so much. So they go in class and they learn how to express themselves creatively. That's what artists do, right? They express themselves and their emotions through the medium of art. They go to class and they learn how to do it in esports and gaming. It doesn't matter, esports and gaming. It's the same skills that you could use for any digital media company, digital marketing company. It's the same skills you're just learning through gaming and esports, so they love it. So the idea is that they go. It's Mom, it's Justin's mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. So the idea is the student goes to a great class for art in emerging new and digital media. The idea is if the school has a good program that we help them build, they walk out of the classroom and they go to the esports club or the Hearthstone team or the League of Legends team, and he or she says, hi, I'm an art student, I'm learning all these great skills, how can I help you build a better brand? Then he or she might make you emoticons or work with you on Twitter and stuff like that. The end result is when that young lady or that young man graduates, they're not a recent graduate. They're a young professional with 3 years of experience in art applied to digital media. Why? She has a cover letter that says, hi, you might see me as a recent graduate. I'd like to let you know I'm a young professional. I've applied art to digital media for 3 years now. I've created A, B, and C. The results were 1, 2, and 3. Here's my portfolio, right? And now the portfolio isn't a theory, right? Maybe this will work, maybe it won't. With our program and the university and the students working together, there's real data behind it. This student can tell the prospective job that I did A, here's my contribution, here's the result. Here's my input, here's my output, right? There's data behind it. So this is what the difference between a student and a young professional is, right? For a student, you have to trust that they learned what they needed to help you in university. When you're a young professional and you have a cover letter and a portfolio that has data behind it, that shows the input and output, now you're a young professional that can prove their worth to the company. So that's really the whole idea of what Twitch Student wants to do. We support esports. So we start with working with the tournament organizers. We want to make sure that you guys have some place that you come compete. Meet other students from around the Philippines that share your love, share your interests, right? Make friends. But more importantly, we want to make sure that there's some official support at the university, right? We need you to have classes, right? The esports teams are very important. You need that, but you need the classes as well, because what do you need to do? You need to practice Hearthstone for today. You need to practice, you need to keep your rank up in League of Legends, right? You don't have time to learn how to make an emoticon. You don't have time to understand a digital media strategy, right? A marketing strategy. So you can work with other students, right? A marketing student that took a class on marketing and digital media. They could come to you and they could put a social media strategy together for you. How do we maximize our data from Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, right? Why? That's data that you can sell against, right? Remember, the whole point of this industry is generating data to sell against, right? Twitter obviously gives you data. LinkedIn obviously gives you data. You have a very grueling school schedule. You work really, really hard at school. You also need to perfect your passion for Hearthstone to be able to represent your school and yourself really well. That's a lot of time, right? You also have to eat. You need a little time to socialize, right? Do you have time to create the things to become a business person? You don't. But you'll have an art student, you'll have a marketing student, you'll have a business student that can come together and work together and create a business with you, around you. So most famous streamers on Twitch isn't a one-person show. They have all these components. They have an agent that understands them and brings them business, money, right? They have a marketing person that helps them with social media strategy and creating marketing decks to sell against. They have somebody that creates their emoticons, right? They have somebody that as they're streaming on Twitch, they have a team next to them that as you're live streaming making money on Twitch, the other team is taking the live stream and chopping it up, cleaning it up, putting some extra stuff in it and putting it on YouTube, right? You're taking time to make YouTube videos to make money. Why wouldn't you make money on the process, right? You know your strength. You know your strength. How do we bring more people in to complement your weaknesses, right? Obviously, time is a weakness because you don't have a lot of time, right? Bring people on that have a little bit of time and want to learn how to take their education and apply it to business while they're in university. So again, you don't graduate as a recent grad, right? No company really likes to hire recent grads. I don't know why. I only hire students. I only hire students in my program, right? They understand much more than I do, right? They're now better educated than I am. I had to learn all of these skills, all the business aspects over 25 years. I would love to take that 25 years and give it to you in 1 year. And that's what university is. That's what your future is. When you invest in yourself by going to college and being a better person and being a better professional, you're making a lot of people very, very happy. You're creating work for a lot of people, right? So you're sacrificing a lot right now. You go to school a lot, you play games a lot. There's more. Collaborate, delegate, right? This way you can focus on what you're really good at and then complement what you're not good at by creating opportunity for your fellow students. But we need the universities to support you, right? We need education that actually makes sense to you, that you enjoy doing, right? Wouldn't it be great? So we have a lot of classes in America right now. I have classes in America, UK, Spain, and Brazil, right? And the students love them because they're learning really valuable skills for 2020 going forward through video games. Mind blown, right? A lot of people don't understand the business of what we do. They only see video games. So when I first started this program and I would speak to a university professor, I promise you, what I felt was, does everybody remember the World of Warcraft South Park episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they see when they hear video games. This sitting in the basement by yourself on a computer wearing a diaper and your mom feeding you food as you're playing because you don't want to get up off the chair. You guys know that's not the case, right? We need to help more people understand what the business of this is. So this is why it's super important that you work with your universities, work with your professors, let them know what you're passionate about. They want to help you, they're just old. And they just don't understand what it is. Again, they see Cartman playing World of Warcraft in a diaper. You guys don't play World of Warcraft in your basement wearing a diaper, do you? No, of course not. So this is the importance of what you're going to do, each one of you, as young professionals. Help people understand what you're doing. Why are you doing this? What are other people doing in this industry? What's the successes? What's the failures? Learn as much as you can. Explain as much as you can to your mom and your dad. Explain it to your professors. This is how I will go to class every single day. I will be in 5 minutes early, I will leave 5 minutes late, and I will come to your office hours every single week if you create a class that teaches me how to be a young professional in emerging, new, and digital media. It's not video games, right? It's entertainment in digital media. This is what we need to break through, right? To professors, to universities, to parents, right? We need them to understand what opportunities you have. And you already know there's endless opportunities. You could be a professional player, you could stream on Twitch and probably make much more money than the stress of being a professional player. You can help people be a professional by being a business manager, the person that creates all their art, their marketing strategist. So there's a lot to this business, right? So I'd like to give you a little homework. I'd like you to think about what skills do you actually need to create a little business around yourselves, right? Just think, you don't have to do, just think for now, right? What other students can I bring in? What skills do they have that can help me build a business? How can I bring more people into what I love and show them there's a good life here? It's what we make of it, right? We can make this anything we want, right? Old people don't get it, right? I have to listen to the person that I hired for Twitch student that graduated right out of the University of Washington. I hired him right out of university. I have to listen to him. Why? He gets it. He gets it better than I do. I'm 48 years old. I think I know what you need. Kevin knows. Why? He needs it as well. He's part of where you are. So me, as a 25-year-old professional in this industry, a director at Twitch, I listen to him. What should I do? As soon as he does that, or he says, yikes, I'm like, okay, yikes, nope, I will not do it, right? So that's the importance of letting people know your value. You need to know it first. You need to know it first. Have that confidence in yourself. It's not RNG. It's not. You earned being here, right? Understand your worth. Help people understand what this is. Then the two will meet. They will see your worth in this industry. It's that easy, it really is. We need you educated, right? And we need the professors to understand what you need for the future, not the past, right? Learn from yesterday, live for today, think for tomorrow. That's success, my friends. When you live for today, your life is always happy, right? When you learn from the past, the things you think about for the future will always lead to a better success, a better result, right? So I think I'll close with that. You have a lot of power in yourselves, right? We need to help people understand what we're doing, right? It's not video games. It is video games, but it's a small piece, right? Understand the business, explain to people what the business of what we do is. And I think that will help your parents support you more. That will help the universities create better classes for you that are actually relevant, that you want to go to college, you want to go to class. I know if I had these classes when I went to college, I'd still be in college. I'd be in college for 20 years. Give me these classes, please. You know? So we'll close at that. I'd like to hear your thoughts. It doesn't have to only be questions. If there's something that I said that you particularly believe in and want to understand more, just say it. I need to learn from you. Right? I can't help unless I listen. I need to know what your pain points are. I need to know what your dreams are. I need to know where you want to be in your life in 3 years. I'm not saying 20 years, right? But this is a short-term thing. Where do I want to be in 3 years? How can we work together to get to that goal? Because maybe once you realize where you want to be in 3 years, and you tell people, you might realize that the 5 of you have the same dream. And you have different skills. And when you work together, you're always stronger. That's why I love collaboration, right? Collaborating with my team, collaborating with Twitch, collaborating with other companies, right? Because they have different strengths. I have different strengths. Together, we're always stronger than by ourselves. That's the power of collaboration and showing love to people, right? So I think that's super important. So bring it on. Who got a question or a statement? Uh-oh. Did I do something wrong?
No. I was just getting the microphone set. Alrighty. So now the panel is now open. So thank you so much, sir. Alrighty. So as what he said, it doesn't need to be a question. You can express your ideas or your beliefs. And so the microphone is now open. So if you have anything to say, or if you have any comments or any suggestions or any questions, go ahead. Just come up to the microphone.
You can just karaoke as well.
So I've got a question in regards to your experiences working with the universities that you have in the past. So I know the willingness to cooperate between the universities varies quite differently. You have the schools who are always open-minded, looking to improve and innovate as well as you can. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have those schools who are grounded in tradition and grounded in religious ideals.
Right.
So how do you work with the administration and the latter part of those schools? How do you start building those steps to implementing esports when generally they dismiss it? Because a lot of the schools in the Philippines are more towards the latter side where
I know. I've been trying with Ariana for 4 or 5 years to bring my program to the Philippines, so I know how difficult it is. So that's a multiple part question. So what I like to do in every single country is I start with the biggest part, right? How can I work with all students as best I can? So the way I do that is I start working with a local tournament organizer, Justin, who organized all this. So I started working with him because I want the opportunity for you to come to a place like this and compete against each other, meet each other, have lunch together, have a cup of coffee together, right? From different parts of the Philippines that you might not have met. So we need a big overarching tournament structure for the students. From there, I like to identify one university that has an open mind and is ready for a class. And then what I'll do is I will work with Justin and you and all the student leaders to make sure that one university creates such a beautiful program that the other schools what's going on over there? Why are all the students from high school now applying only to that university? So a good example of that is Robert Morris University in America and University of California, Irvine. Right? I spent years working with just these 2 universities to make sure we had something for people to look at. Again, it's not a theory, it's the same thing with the portfolio. This is my artwork, this is where we started, this is where we are now. This is the result of my contributions. We need that example. 1, 2, 3 universities at most. Then after a year, you're going to start seeing students applying to that university more than the other universities. So UCI created this program in 2016. Their goal for the program was to not be a tier 3 school. So the way they think of tier 3 schools is tier 1 is Berkeley, right? If you don't get accepted to Berkeley, you apply to UCLA or USC. If you didn't get into UCLA or USC, you applied to UCI or UCSD or one of the tier 3 schools, right? UCI now has more registration applicants than all the other schools. They've succeeded. Students want to go there, mainly from mainland China. There's a lot of mainland Chinese that go there. That's great, right? They need education too, right? We need to bring them into the fold. It's kind of separate from everything else right now. We need to bring people out, right? Experience life outside in the real world. So yeah, just one university. We work with the students, we work with Justin, and we create something. Something that's so beautiful, the other schools can't help but want to be a part of it. Even if it's just a business, right? What's the business of a university? All universities are a business entity, right? And there's 3 main business goals: enrollment, life experience surveys, and post-graduation employment. Did you go to my school and graduate and find a job? Super, super important for universities. Once you understand that, it's kind of easy to get a university to create a program like this. So what I need is I need one school, you guys have more homework now, one university that you think I can go, pay a visit, and spend a day with the administrators and explain what this really is, just like we had this discussion, emerging new and digital media. Let me get a half hour with anybody. I've never failed. 26 countries, 30,000 universities I work with. I've never failed one time now. So, can you open the door for me and crack?
I think I have a university in mind, so.
2 words. Let's go. Let's go.
Who else? Have universities now? I'm thinking of one too, but I'm not sure if they're willing.
Is there administrators here?
Huh?
Did you say there's a professor here?
No, I meant one. There are some schools who are still in their in a traditional sense of students trying to obtain jobs, like the usual ones. But since this is going to be the future, now I'm thinking of one university, but I'm not sure if they're still willing to yet, because they're still cooperating with a lot of their students. Okay, so anyway, do you guys have any questions, comments, beliefs?
I get this a lot. It's a lot of information to absorb. It's a lot. I know that. Take it slow. Take what something that touched you from today, and just focus on that. You don't have to see everything, but what part spoke to you? Take that and chase it down, right? One thing from each of you is the whole business. Like, let's work together, right? It doesn't matter what school you go to, right? We're trying to create a better future for young people, right? You know better than I do. You 6 together absolutely know 6 times more than I do. Help me, help you.
To be honest, this is the first time I'm very speechless. I'm never speechless when it comes to hosting. Alrighty, so actually, to be honest, it's not just in esports that you can apply this. You can apply this in every. It can be digital or traditional media. Like, I also apply this when I do content creation in YouTube. I met with the people of my own community. I meet my own fans. I meet the people who I admire in the community. I met them. I talked with them. I asked them and I showed them what I've got, and then they admire me at the end. Like, for example, there's this one event in Manila that I went to. It was last 2 weeks ago, and I shared to them that I'm from Iloilo. And then when I told them that I'm from Iloilo, they were all shocked because they never seen an Ilonggo went to their event before. So and
is that a word, Ilonggo?
Yes, that is how we call ourselves.
Wow, cool. Like, see, I'm learning something. See, you learn something every day.
See, wait, Justin never told you about the word Ilonggo? And you're gonna learn our dialect called Ilocano.
I will. Wait. Hold on.
Okay, sir.
Hold on. Sorry. That's my course. I'm a linguistics major.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you're not aware, sir, we have 186 languages in the Philippines. That's a lot, those are, and like 500 plus more dialects.
Wow.
Yeah, and the basic form of the basic differentiation between the language and the dialect is the person talking in the different speech varieties can understand each other. So, like, if a Tagalog speaker speaks with a Hiligaynon speaker, they can't understand each other. Therefore, it's a different language.
Oh, so it's a different base language.
Yes.
Wow.
And that's why we have like 186 here.
That's like quote that India, I thought, had the most languages, and it was 27 official languages in India. One of them being English. Thank God.
Here there are only like 2 official languages, but we have like 186 local languages.
Well, I love coming to the Philippines. Everybody speaks very, very good English, which I'm eternally grateful for.
Yes.
Because I don't know how long it would take for you guys to teach me the local language.
Languages now, even if they like here it's Hiligaynon, in when you go up north it's Ilocano. See, there's just so much.
But there's a universal language that you can speak to people.
Yeah, there's actually lingua franca wise. You can never go wrong with English, except when you're going to like probably Mindanao, it's usually
Right.
and even other provinces. Because the official 2 languages of the Philippines is English and Filipino. Filipino being based off of Tagalog, but our government is working to make it like a pizza pie sort of combination of all of these languages.
Oh, right. Okay. Interesting. See? Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Really do appreciate it.
That's also like part of our calling in our Department of Linguistics, the only department in the Philippines is teaching undergrad linguistics.
So let's dig a little deeper. Let's go down the rabbit hole. How can linguistics be applied to digital new and emerging media and through esports?
It's kind of like it deals with the communication aspect of language, because not only are we analyzing how people speak, how people create words from sounds, we also look into how we communicate these sounds, make proper
So does
sentences.
it always have to be just sound? So I was thinking the language that we have that's very unique in this industry, that's very specific to Twitch.
The semiotics of emojis.
Yes.
It's also part of like the combination of syntax and semantics.
So for those of you that don't know, Mom and Dad, emotes is what we use on Twitch, and these young people will come up with a drawing that expresses some kind of emotion. And they use a very specific language on Twitch. There's not a lot of words. There's pictures, like hieroglyphics in Egypt. And you read, and when you put a combination of these drawings together, it creates a very complex idea that if you wrote the words down, it would probably take you 5 or 6 pages to explain the relationship between the 6 drawings. But they get it. It's super quick. Emojis.
It's kind of like in Facebook. There are emoticons and emojis.
Yeah. The little smiley faces or whatever. Yeah. So you could see how you could potentially go and speak to a professor and figure out how can we take this kind of archaic education and make it relevant for me when I graduate. It's a conversation that we can have. See, that's the value of just getting together and chatting, right? We identify opportunity together. So now you have more homework.
Yes. It's kind of what I'd like to add, how it kind of really struck to me that we're a community that needs to explain ourselves better to other people, and that's very much what our Department of Linguistics is trying to struggle with for the past 96 years.
Sounds like we have some work we can do together. How
Exactly.
can we create this and disseminate it to more